section, we're going to go over strategies to intervene if you suspect elder abuse, knowing what to do if you have your suspicions. So what are the warning signs of abuse? What should be the things that kind of raise a red flag and give you suspicions? Unexplained injuries. Yes, everybody has injuries sometimes. Older people do fall. They do bruise easily. But if the person is frequently falling, frequently showing bruises, and doesn't have a good explanation for why that happened, it doesn't guarantee abuse. It could be that the person is losing their balance a lot, but you want to check that out. Weight changes, either eating way too much suddenly or becoming very, very thin. Is there stressors in the environment? Is the caregiver not providing proper nutrition? If the elder seems suddenly frightened and withdrawn, again, a person with dementia could show these symptoms, but if you see a change where the person becomes withdrawn, frightened, nervous, again, it could be a red flag. If a caregiver denies access to the elder, screens calls, declines visits, says, oh, sorry, she's not feeling up to it right now. Again, that can happen once in a while, but if suddenly, I haven't gotten in to see grandma in a long time, something to worry about. Does the elder appear inappropriately dressed, dirty, not well groomed? Is the home dirty? Is the refrigerator empty? Again, these could be signs of abuse or potential abuse, that the caregiver is becoming overwhelmed. Are valuables missing? Is the caregiver suddenly buying things that they couldn't afford in the past without any other explanation for this sudden windfall in money? These are things to look into, warning signs. So what do you do if you're suspicious? You don't want to accuse somebody without evidence, especially when that could make them angry at the elder or cut off access even further, right? So you want to proceed delicately. You want to visit more frequently. You want to make sure that the older person is not alone, and you want to be able to see them on more than one occasion to see if there's a pattern. Try to speak to the elder alone, and if you can do that, then ask directly. Are they treating you well? I've noticed that you have a lot of bruises. I've noticed this or that. What's going on? Speak to the caregiver about stressors. Certainly don't go in and accuse them of abuse without real solid evidence, but you might want to try to draw them out. Are they feeling stressed out? How are things going? Offer assistance to the caregiver. If they're overwhelmed, they might really appreciate the help. And speaking to them about stressors might allow them to open up and maybe even admit, I can't handle this anymore. I know I'm not providing the care I should provide. However, if these things don't work, you do not want to wait. The situation could be dangerous. You don't want to wait forever, wondering what to do. Report suspected abuse or neglect to Adult Protective Services. And if it's a paid caregiver, report it to their employer or to the appropriate state agency. Every care facility has to have that number posted up. So you report suspicions. It doesn't mean that you're accusing, you're suspecting. And it's up to Adult Protective Services or the appropriate state agency or employer. It's up to them to investigate further and decide if it's founded or not. So, if you suspect abuse and you really can't get a satisfactory answer by, further investigation, by talking to both the caregiver and to the elder, then better to err on the side of caution. Because you don't want to fail to do something and then something bad happens to the elder.